Mr. Mehmet, have you been to Argentina?
Senator, I haven't had the opportunity yet to be there. I've traveled pretty extensively around the world, but I haven't yet had a chance.
Sure. The government has denounced them. The coalition government, they're part of the coalition of the government.
Well, I would say, you know what, I stand corrected.
Who are these people? Well, they're just the latest in a string of embarrassing nominees President Obama has put forward to represent our country abroad as ambassadors. Their lack of knowledge isn't the only thing this group has in common. They've all donated at least $500,000 to the Obama campaign. So what does this say about the people the Obama campaign sends abroad? Joining us now to weigh in is former State Department senior advisor and author of Smart Power Between Diplomacy and War, Christian Whiton. Christian, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. So
great to be here, Tucker. Thanks for having me.
The response from the Obama defenders is this has been going on a long time. They're always political appointees made ambassador. A lot of them are donors. Let's take a look at the numbers, though. These are really telling. So under Bill Clinton, 28% of ambassadors appointed during those 8 years were non-career foreign service. They were donors and friends. Under Bush, it was 30%. Under Obama, it's 37%. This is a big change, no?
It is, and of course this administration came in, and one of the many things it intimated was that it's going to cut down on the number of politically appointed ambassadors. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing to do, but I think the real takeaway here is that, as in so many areas, Obama is pushing the envelope. You know, Bush had a lot of politically appointed ambassadors. The person he sent to China was a former college roommate, but that person, Sandy Rand, happened to have been to China for quite many times before that. In fact, had an entire career of business in Asia, spoke Mandarin, etc. So sending donors to be ambassadors, not that uncommon. Sending them that have no idea what they're doing or about the regions they're going to, that is new.
Well, especially to countries that kind of matter. I mean, this is not like Burkina Faso. I mean, he nominated someone to Norway, kind of a serious country, huge energy reserves. Who knows nothing about Norway? Hungary, I think we're sending over a soap opera producer. I mean, it's a pretty mediocre group, it looks like.
It is. The person going to Hungary was asked a simple question: what are our strategic interests there? Pretty easy: keeping the Russians out of there politically, obviously militarily, economically, things like that. Couldn't answer the question. Person in Norway who we heard coming into the segment, who had no idea that the group he was denouncing was in fact part of the ruling coalition. Seems like he hadn't even read the Wikipedia entry before he went and testified to the Senate.
That's just absolutely pathetic. What did you make of what happened to Toria Nuland this week, the Undersecretary of State for Europe, who was caught saying something nasty about the European Union on a cell phone? But what does it say about the competence of the State Department that these two officials are speaking on unsecured cell phones that the Russians just hacked into?
It is, and that's Security 101. First day at the State Department tell you basically a cell phone is like a microphone to your adversaries. Toria is the opposite end of the extreme. She is a foreign service officer, the queen bee of the European mafia of the foreign service. She's, as the Assistant Secretary for Europe, the pinnacle of existence for many FSOs. It was bad on many levels, saying that we should, F the EU, which actually has been constructive in what it's done in Ukraine. Ukraine is in crisis right now, deciding whether it will continue, what has happened since the Orange Revolution, where it's looked more toward the West, towards NATO, towards the EU, or whether it will turn back to Russia. Also, what she's doing is appearing to micromanage a political revolution from Washington, which is something you don't do. So really amateurish across the board.
Well, I know a lot of people who have worked with Toria Nuland, and not one of them says anything other than deeply, deeply mediocre. It's troubling. Christian Whiton, thanks for joining us. Graduate of St. George's School in Newport, Rhode Island, most importantly. Thanks for coming on this morning.